The fires surrounding Los Angeles are undoubtedly one of the top global topics right now. This is partly because, perhaps never before, such events have involved a crazy number of celebrities, which is understandable since everything is happening around LA and Hollywood, where the main film production of the world is concentrated. Honestly, what's happening now has already gone far beyond the fires themselves. Amidst these upheavals, different celebrities are behaving very differently. While some are genuinely volunteering and donating significant sums to the victims, others are trying to get their own dose of publicity, and a third group, like Leonardo DiCaprio, is accused of simply making a quick exit. Speaking specifically about Leo, who has been crying foul about the threat of climate change for many years, he suddenly decided to take a vacation in Mexico on a private jet, which clearly contradicts his long-standing rhetoric. Moreover, some stars sincerely believe that arson is to blame and have even announced a bounty for the heads of the mysterious arsonists. The press reports that celebrities, hiding from the fire in elite Beverly Hills hotels, risk falling victim to an epidemic and a sort of conspiratorial hunt for stars. As for the Oscars, this year's main film award will indeed be significantly altered due to the fires. In general, the catastrophe that has occurred has already impacted the entire Hollywood reality, turning it into a true tragicomedy that we will discuss right now. So, I think you already know that for the second consecutive week, the areas around Los Angeles have been suffering from massive fires, possibly the most powerful in California in the last 50 years or more. Unfortunately, the number of fatalities is approaching 30, with even more people missing. Many thousands of homes and other properties have turned into smoking ruins, and the number of Hollywood stars left without their homes and possessions has exceeded 50. As we mentioned in the last video, one of the most popular theories regarding the start of these deadly fires is intentional arson. While some believe that aliens are to blame, others are quite seriously claiming that the arsonists primarily targeted Hollywood and the numerous stars living in the vicinity. And it seems some celebrities have even decided to take action and strike back. For example, as American Press reports, David Spade, comedian, actor, and podcaster, is currently offering a monetary reward to anyone who can catch the mysterious arsonists. On Saturday, the 60-year-old Spade posted a message on his Instagram stating that he will offer $5,000 to anyone who helps law enforcement catch those responsible for the arsons in California. People are saying there are guys there who are lighting fires and making everything even worse, the actor stated. So if you find the person who started this fire, catch them and get the police to arrest and send them to prison, I will give you $5,000. He added that $5,000 is, of course, somewhat modest for capturing the people allegedly responsible for the most destructive fires, the damage from which has already been estimated at $150 billion. But it is what it is. Especially since, in addition to the fires themselves, the flames are also contributing to major riots, looting, and other unpleasant aspects of life, which the National Guard is already addressing. Regarding the Hollywood stars themselves, they are also trying to help the victims. Generally, the situation looks somewhat normal, but not everyone is behaving appropriately, and some have already faced significant backlash for their positions and actions. For instance, Leo is being accused of not attempting to help those around him or those fighting to save his elite property. Instead, Leo, who portrays himself as a climate and ecology champion, is hiding from the deadly Los Angeles fires on a private jet, which has understandably angered many. As the press reports, Leonardo DiCaprio faced severe criticism after he was spotted arriving in Mexico on a private jet with his supposed girlfriend, Victoria Soretti, after fleeing Los Angeles. The Oscar-winning DiCaprio was photographed on a flight with his young companion. And while that might not seem like a big deal, the Titanic star is now being criticized for fighting for his life and, among other things, his property. Additionally, he's been further condemned for using a private jet, considering that Dicaprio has been promoting rhetoric against global warming and fighting climate change for over a decade. In 2015, he promised to divest from fossil fuel assets and increase investments in companies working on renewable energy sources. Following that, DiCaprio toured the world as an ambassador for this noble cause. But now, as soon as the fires flared up, he decided to fly away on a private jet, which in terms of emissions per passenger, exceeds that of regular commercial flights by many times, sometimes even by dozens of times. It's clear that Given all this, relaxing at a Mexican resort now has Dicaprio accused of hypocrisy and betraying his own ideals. Online, he is also being criticized. However, in reality, such so-called eco-warriors among the stars are not a new phenomenon. For example, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle, formerly the actress Meghan Markle, were even forgiven in South Park for their supposed fight against global warming and their passionate love for private jets. Now, in the wake of the fires, Harry and Meghan, who have already arrived in Los Angeles and seemingly even volunteered there to help the fire victims, have already been reproached for being performative, hypocritical, and engaging in another PR stunt. For instance, actress Justin Bieber is mocking Harry and Meghan, calling them disaster tourists due to, as she put it, their photo shoots against the backdrop of the fire. The former star of the series, Family Ties, ridiculed the prince and his wife for their Friday photo shoot during their meeting with victims of the ongoing forest fires. The fact is that the starry couple decided to go to Pasadena last week to spend time with the fire victims. They inspected the devastation, seemingly cared for ordinary people, and distributed food, which sounds commendable. But as you can see, some people saw this as nothing more than a cheap farce. Harry and Meghan are no better than ambulance chasers, wrote Justin Bieber regarding the situation on her Twitter. What a disgusting photo shoot they have with their disaster tour. They are now politicians. They don't even live here. She added, they are just disaster tourists. Well, the claim holds some validity, although others, on the contrary, praise Meghan and Harry for their contributions and compassion. For instance, Meghan Markle even asked Netflix to postpone the premiere of her new documentary series, With Love, Meghan, which was supposed to be released on January 14th. Allegedly, because now is not the time and all of Markle's thoughts and efforts are solely dedicated to those affected by the fires. Whether this is sincere or not, I personally won't judge. We can discuss this in the comments. And, of course, make sure to finally subscribe to our channel. If you haven't yet, you won't want to miss anything interesting in the future. Now, let's move on to the Hollywood stars who are actually making the most significant contributions to combating the aftermath of the relentless fires. And there are quite a few of them. By the way, leading the list is not one of the wealthiest Hollywood stars, but the relatively long-time Oscar winner, actress Jamie Lee Curtis, who was the first to allocate $1 million from her family fund to help those affected by the forest fires. Following her example is Desperate Housewives star Eva Longoria, who is also donating $1 million, albeit not from personal funds, but through her foundation. Plus, she promised an additional $50,000 personally. Pop star BB Rexa will donate $2.5 million through her foundation, Be Good, intended to help families in the Altadena and Pasadena areas who have lost their homes, as well as churches and community centers. Rihanna Hilton, whose home also burned to the ground, launched an emergency fund of $100,000 through her nonprofit organization and stated that she will add another $100,000 in additional donations. Halle Berry and Sharon Stone published a statement saying they are making donations directly to Coop, an organization that collects necessary clothing for forest fire victims. Additionally, numerous film companies and streamers have also joined in, promising $10 to $15 million each for the victims. Again, this can be viewed in different ways. Some might say it's really cool and right, while others might argue that given the stars and studios' immense earnings, their donations are just a drop in the ocean and probably only part of the truth. In other words, everyone will decide for themselves. Meanwhile, some publications are raising alarms and promoting new conspiracy theories, almost a deliberate campaign to eradicate Hollywood celebrities. The fact is, after the fires began, many stars were left without homes, and many found refuge in luxurious hotels in Beverly Hills. As the publication Voucher wrote, among the celebrities, a sudden outbreak of COVID allegedly began, along with conspiracies that stars were first meant to be burned and now are being deliberately killed off with the coronavirus. Honestly, I don't believe any of this, but there's a lot of noise around this news right now. Although conspiracy theories certainly don't stop there. After all, the well-known WPI, assuming it's a typo or abbreviation, possibly a fictional entity in context, has already claimed that the Republican Party, which is currently stronger than ever, is allegedly threatening to refuse assistance in fighting California's fires, which is traditionally considered a democratic state. Again, this might be pure conspiracy theory, or maybe not. I'm not deep enough into the topic to say for sure. But one thing is certain, the 2025 Oscars will definitely be different. Firstly, the announcement of its nominees has been postponed again, this time to January 23rd. And as reported by English-language sources, the raging fires around it have struck the very heart of the film industry, which is still trying to stabilize after many years of pandemic-related labor upheavals and technological dramas. But for the first time in a decade, the Oscars are facing the question: should the show go on, and shouldn't all funds be directed towards helping the victims and rebuilding? Even some Hollywood stars are talking about this now, as well as the idea that much of the pomp and traditional red carpet should now be reduced or completely canceled, since the fires have left many without homes and the appetite for usual parades and self-praise has diminished. So, we'll see what this year's Oscars will look like, and whether they will even take place, though I highly doubt it. Now, you can write your thoughts on this matter right away, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon so you don't miss our fresh and interesting episodes. And don't forget to give a like. Thank you all for watching, and see you soon.